It's been exactly 2 years since the IRS admitted improperly scrutinizing or targeting Tea Party groups. And look, all of the investigations surrounding this, especially the congressional investigations, have gone absolutely nowhere, Stephen. And Republicans, especially Senator Orrin Hatch, who's really aggrieved about this, said nothing but stonewalling, especially the emails they claimed didn't exist and now suddenly do exist. And those, not all of those, have been handed over. So what's going on?
Well, I think part of the thing to look at here is the fact that the nonpartisan Inspector General's report has gone through and has been completed, and they issued their conclusions, some of which included important facts like there weren't outside political factors in play here, that this was the result of
incompetence and stupidity.
Exactly. And to the extent that there are additional emails, I believe the Inspector General's office is already on record saying that these are most part and parcel of the same. And so they're cumulative, in fact, and not new facts being introduced.
Congress has received 5,000 of the roughly 6,400 newly discovered Lerner emails, Lois Lerner emails, so they haven't gotten them all yet, which is rather inexplicable. Adam, what do you think is going on here?
Oh, gosh, well, just put the pieces together. First, Lois Lerner, the IRS, denies it. Then she says that these emails don't exist. And then she starts to play the victim's card, and lastly, pleads the fifth. So what the American people want right now are answers from the IRS, who has no trouble dunning American taxpayers for information having to do with their own personal situation. I think it's time that we learn more about what was underneath this. They were more forthright about it. And as we start to look, Greg, at the effort by some to cut the budget of the IRS, which of course the IRS is screaming about, I think the bottom line on that is simply this. It's really a message from the American people. If you want more money, earn it.
Stephen, I'll give you the last question. Part of the legacy of former Attorney General Eric Holder, he refused to appoint a special prosecutor to look in this. And instead, who does he appoint? A Democratic supporter and Obama donor to head up the Department of Justice investigation. And what have we heard about it? Predictably, nothing. I mean, that's just plain wrong, isn't it?
Well, no, I think it's inappropriate to suggest that there's some sort of impropriety just because a special prosecutor wasn't appointed, particularly in light of the nonpartisan report from the Inspector General.
He appoints a Democratic supporter and donor, for goodness sakes. I mean, just to
point out that the person investigating it is a Democrat doesn't mean that they're not taking the same unbiased and legal view, as are his responsibilities as an attorney.
Come up with nothing after 2 years. Nothing, Stephen. Seriously.
Neither has the Inspector General's report, and neither has the congressional investigation.
Yeah. You know what? I am going to ask one more question, Adam. Should the IRS just be blown up? Because now there is a different new Inspector General's report that says he found 1,580 willful, deliberate tax cheats that are IRS agents. 61% of those tax cheats kept their jobs, and indeed many of them got bonuses and promotions. Is this an agency that just needs to be abolished and start over again?
Well, that's a great question, and all I can say, Greg, is the IRS clearly has a culture of disregard and disdain for the American taxpayer. They've shown that by these kinds of endeavors and by the total refusal to answer questions about their own behavior as they question ours. I think we have to do better than that, because if you lose trust in the agency that basically is collecting the revenue to fund the most important functions of this nation, a lot of things start to come a cropper in terms of our confidence in institutions in general. So yes, to your question, I think we ought to, I'm not sure we should abolish them, but I think we should expose them for the things that they're not telling us and get it right. American people just want to get it right.
To piggyback on Adam's statements, transparency and oversight are crucial and important regardless of the agency and department that we're talking about. But I think it's nearly preposterous statement to say that the IRS should be abolished.
Well, how about this? In addition to the tax cheats, they fired hundreds of people for misconduct and poor performance and then turned around and rehired them. We'll leave it at that. Adam Goodman, Stephen Kopp. How can you beat that? Check out foxnews.com for more on this developing story. I'm Greg Jarrett. Thanks for watching.